are such a genuine gem. Thank you for clicking on my Foul Play February series. I'm Brooke Makenna, but today's video is going to be of a story that I found and just completely wanted to know what in the world happened. And I think you guys will too. It obviously has to do with true crime, but I'm not sure. You never know where these stories are going to lead. I know some of you guys don't absolutely love these, but to be honest, I have been sick half of this month and it's been really hard to post videos every single day, and I'm trying my absolute best, not complaining at all because I obviously want to do it if I'm doing it, and I'm doing it because I love you guys so much, so not complaining whatsoever. But I think that I need to, end out this month on a more relaxing note, if that's okay with you guys. The next month we'll be back to true crime. So after that long explanation, let's get into the story. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe and thumbs up this video if you do enjoy these just storytelling, relaxing type videos anyway. Now let's get into the story. So it's called "The Series of Creepy Letters I Received as a Child Resulted in Another Student's Murder." So it says, "When I was a teen, I was really into sports. Growing up in Wisconsin, the Green Bay Packers were like a second religion to me, with Brett Favre as my Lord and Savior. One Saturday, at the age of 14, I slept in late. With eager footsteps, I went down the stairs to my living room just in time to catch the Badger football game. My father approached the couch and handed me a letter. I was pleasantly surprised to receive mail at that age, as this was an infrequent occurrence. I excitedly opened this letter addressed to me from a company called Perfect Predictions, Inc. And I'll write on the screen how that's spelled because it's not exactly how you think. Dear Mr. Gilpin, we are writing to inform you of our Perfect Prediction program. We can say to a certainty that the Packers will win the game against the Dolphins on Sunday, 09/14/1997. You can enroll in our program for one low payment of $50 to receive more predictions. We know, we watch, we win. Sincerely, PPP." Included was an envelope that contained a P.O. box number. My father inquired about the contents of the letter, and I reluctantly told him. Without even really listening to me, he took it from my hands and threw it in the garbage. I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian home, and my father took the portions of the Bible that decry gambling very seriously. In a condescending tone, and referring to me as Jakey, which I hated, he took this opportunity to go into a long diatribe about the evils of betting. I pretended to listen as I watched the action of the field unfold on my TV. Wouldn't you know it, the Packers won. I figured the company had a 50-50 shot and did not put too much weight into the prediction I had received in the mail. However, curious as to what it may be in the mailbox, I dutifully checked it throughout the week before my father got to it. Lo and behold, I received another letter from Perfect Predictions, Inc. That Saturday. The letter read, "Dear Mr. Gilpin, we hope you enjoyed the prediction made last week. We can say to a certainty that the Patriots will win the game against the Bears on Sunday, 09/21/1997. You can enroll in our program for one low payment of $75 to receive more predictions. We know, we watch, we know, we collect, pay. Sincerely, PPP." I would be lying if I said I wasn't somewhat astonished when the Patriots handily defeated the Bears the following day. And so it continued for the next 2 weeks. I went behind my father's back and took the letters before he could see them. 4 weeks in a row. What are the chances of that? However, the price kept climbing. The letter had asked for $125. I went to my bank that Saturday afternoon and pulled out my meager savings. This was just enough to cover the cost. I was going to mail in the money, but something gave me a pause. I decided to mull it over until Monday after class. And at the time, I was glad I did so. I was taking a statistics course. My teacher gave a lesson on common misconceptions involving statistics. She talked about the gambler's fallacy, the idea that if you toss a fair coin and it lands on heads, tails becomes more likely with the next toss. However, the next toss will be a 50-50 shot just like the first one. Same goes for your chances at a slot machine. They don't improve with each pull. The likeliness of winning, and losing for that matter, remains the same. She then went on to describe scams that have used statistical advantage to con people. My ears perked up when she described one in particular that could not be more pertinent. It works by the scammers sending out hundreds of letters with sports predictions on them. Since statistically half of them will be correct, they send out a second letter to the people who received the correct prediction, and so on until you have a small pool of people enthusiastically parting with their money after 4 or 5 predictions in a row. I was stunned and pissed, to say the least. I was so excited about the possibilities and furious that I had almost spent my savings on a scam. So livid, in fact, that I wrote a letter to Perfect Predictions, Inc. I thought that they would get the hint when I called them out, but old habits die hard. I hovered around the mailbox for the remainder of the week. To my utter astonishment, I received a letter that Saturday. It simply stated, Packers 24, Bears 23, Sunday 10/12/1997. $1,000, pay, 2 chances, we collect. I chuckled to myself. They had really outdone themselves on this one. What a desperate act to try to get money. They must have not read my letter stating that I was on to them. Like I even had that much money in the first place. I eagerly watched from the beginning of the game, looking forward to seeing these scammers exposed as the frauds they were. As Green Bay eked out a victory, I sat in stunned silence. The final score was indeed 24-23. My mind raced to derive a logical explanation for this prediction, but I came up short. The remainder of the week I devised ways to get $1,000, but the most I could come up with was $200. My last gambit was to tell a group of friends that I would bet on a Sunday game this Saturday. The way I worded it and approached it seemed suspicious, and I could not find any takers when I refused to name a game until Saturday. With resignation, I gave up my career as an aspiring sports bettor without it even getting off the ground. Another Saturday, another letter from Perfect Predictions. I gleefully opened it to find this. Jason Richards, 0. Perfect Predictions, 11,034. Sunday, 10/19/1997. $5,000, pay, last chance, we collect. I stared at the letter. I was completely perplexed. That name looked familiar. There was a kid 2 years older than me that played varsity for my school with that name. In fact, he was the star player. Is that what they meant? What kind of score was that? As I searched my mind over and over again for an explanation as to what it meant, I turned up nothing. I stayed awake that night, incapable of sleeping while attempting to solve the riddle of the letter. How I wished it had remained a mystery. It wasn't until Wednesday that I got my answer. The school was alive with gossip. Over the weekend, one of the students went missing. The star quarterback, Jason Richards. He had been asleep in his bedroom Sunday night 1 minute, and then gone the next, never to be found again. My mind did mental gymnastics to explain how his disappearance was unrelated to the letter I had received. There were hundreds of kids with that name. What are the chances they meant him? The next letter I received from Perfect Predictions eradicated all doubt in my mind. I promptly took all the letters and burned them, as I exhausted every possible way to get in touch with this company that seems to only exist in the letters I received and in my mind's eye. I have spent the last 16 years trying to forget. I look at the calendar. Where the F did the time go? As the day approaches, my thoughts are consumed by the contents of the last letter. Jake Gilpin, 0. Perfect Predictions, 11,035. Sunday, 7/27/2014. We collect. We always collect. Whew, and that is where the story ends. If you guys remember the letter sent from an inmate that we read a little while back, it was kind of like that in a way, except for not necessarily paranormal. But do you guys think that it was some mystic person that really does know all of these predictions? Do you think it was possibly a time traveler? I guess the last letter kind of proves that it wasn't just someone who was trying to con, because how in the world would they know the exact score unless they were a time traveler from the past? Or like psychics and all of that can be a very scary thing, because suddenly you think, oh my gosh, they know everything about me. I have to listen to these people. They are going to be the ones that are going to tell me if something bad happens, so I need to make sure I'm doing exactly what they tell me. and then you're into some strange pact with them that you never wanted to be in, and you can't get out of it, and then suddenly people are going missing, or you are having trouble in your life, there's a curse on you now, or you know. And I just recently watched Morgan Adams' video about her being taken advantage of by this psychic who basically cursed her, and it kind of seems a lot like that to me. You think it was a psychic that was a killer that would go and, you know, abduct these people, and because this person didn't get it right, it was like a game to them, like some serial killers do. I think it'd be a crazy story if, you know, this killer used other people as like, okay, if you don't do this certain thing for me, if you don't believe me, then somebody dies. But I'd love to hear your comments down below on what you think about this. It makes my heart so happy that you guys enjoy listening to me reading, because as you guys know, I write novels, and reading has always been something that has brought me peace and happiness, and so I'm glad that I can bring that to you. And maybe one day, who knows, I'll be reading audiobooks or my own book on Audible for you guys to hear it in my own voice. That is like the ultimate dream. But make sure to thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and come back tomorrow for the last day of Foul Play February. Don't be too sad, I'll be posting lots in March as well. But don't ever forget to speak up. Your voice is powerful enough, and I love you to absolute pieces. Okay, bye. Oh, I did it with the other hand. How weird. Bye.